making a joke about
There we go.
OBS being robust.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. It's Heaven Will Be Mine, Part 3, Part 1. With me, I have the lovely Kai.
Hello.
And Mordred. Hey, Blake. Thank you for coming.
Hello.
So yeah, we have already done 2 routes. We did Saturn's route on Kai's channel like a month ago now, and we did Lunaterra's route on Muddy's channel, and now we're gonna do my favorite character and the my transition goals all rolled into one, and I'm probably gonna get very owned, so that'll be fun for everyone, won't it?
Oh yes.
I don't
Pluto.
know if anyone has picked a pattern that if you choose the route that ostensibly has the characters win, it's actually the route where the characters get owned the most.
All these characters like being owned. It's fine. Yes. Pluto
I could have something to say about the ideology of this game being like that the best option for us all is to be bottoms, but I will not explore that at the moment.
Yeah. We can play the game and then we'll talk about it on a chatting stream sometime.
Yeah, I plan on doing exegesis of the game once we've played through it, for sure.
Switches, please. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that Mordred's talking streams are usually overlapping with my dinner almost universally, but I will attempt to participate in discussion.
Okay, shall we make a start?
It's not my fault I only ever wake up at 11:30 my time each day.
No, it's okay.
Right.
I mean, it kind of is, but I can't really fix it.
Right, who's going to be the robot? Kai, do you want to do this? Cause,
okay. Intangible distance out of ourselves, communication with what is not, the unknown, the perception of impossible things, and every distance in between. With perfect communication, breath to breath. With perfect communication, skin to skin. With perfect communication, mouth to mouth, inside to inside, blood to blood. With perfect understanding across the bonds of culture. With perfect understanding across the boundaries of culture. With perfect access to the realization of the highest ideals. With perfect access to the acceptance of the deepest depths. The solar system maps the human body. The solar system maps culture. In the center is the sun, which is synthesis. When the physical bodies of the solar system become our home, our ship through the universe, our body, their names will be given again, from the name of a rock, such as Hades, to the name of a part of us and ourselves, such as Pluto. You are the sun. Through you, humans will possess their true body. As you were once born, through us, we too wish. Base override system interrupt.
Hi, Doctor.
I lost you for a moment there. Are you okay?
I'm fine, Doctor.
This is the first interface of its kind. If there is anything unusual about it, that will be hard to tell. Because by definition, it is very unusual.
I'll let you know if it feels especially unusual next.
Good. Let me know if something categorically impossible happens.
Like what?
If your sink got so deep that your thoughts were being dumped into the OS code directly, for example.
If that happens, I'll let you know.
Are you ready to begin?
I've been ready for a long time.
Begin activation test. Macula firmware loading. Dual tidal reactor sinking. Welcome to Cradle's Grace's bootloader 0Y0YC1 V5.66.9123. Oh why can't I? Bootlegging gravitational reactor. Done. Hyperdensity established. Done.
Beginning resonance test. You should feel lightheadedness and weight. Wait until you're comfortable before diving in.
Correct action, correct thought, correct belief. Existing without fault. Existing without ever harming the universe. To be the execution of what is right and good. The power over distance is also the power over to harm. Harm by thinking, harm by breathing, harm by loving, harm by touching, harm by culture, harm by boundaries, harm by idealism, harm by depression, harm by infinity. Let us talk of harm by infinity. If the ninth planet in the solar system is not a planet, it is because it represents the point at which humans cross over into that which they are not, a phenomenon that is itself existentially threatening, regardless of how or if that phenomenon manifests. That is the sea of possibility itself. All hopes and fears will.
Pluto, how is the response?
I'm doing great. Nothing weird.
Like a computer, I accept it. All data, I accept it. All wishes, I accept them. I'm an infinite engine. I'm a star. I know exactly how. Execute and accept. System accepting and executing. Reactor cores, perfect resonance. No margin of error.
Nix, you can hear me, right?
Loud and clear, Pluto.
Is it working? You're not saying anything.
It's working perfectly. Flawless on the first try. You really are the one who brings impossible things.
You're thinking too hard about it, Doctor. I can't do things like that.
Be a little more generous to yourself. But it's also your right not to be.
Pilot core link. Done.
Do you feel centered?
Yes.
Do you feel the phantom presence of the ship's limbs? This is normal.
Yes.
Do you feel the presence of other bodies or other people nearby? This is also normal.
Yes.
Do you feel as if other nearby people or bodies may be your own body? This is not normal.
How would I know the difference?
Fair. Do you feel like a god yet?
Not really.
There's no need to be modest. Prep for launch.
It hasn't been that long since we all started fighting, but everything really did just go how I imagined it. Even holding the controls of the machine everyone's so scared of, just like this, doesn't feel like butterflies or dread. It just feels like the only thing that could have happened. You know how hard they worked because they were so scared you wouldn't be finished before the end? I never doubted it. I'm not so special that they couldn't make something scary enough for me to be its pilot.
Humans are culture, and culture is gravity. A ship self is a skin, but a ship self is also a heart. A plastic and metal chassis, insulated against hard vacuum, is necessary to not die. The tidal reactor, which generates the gravity and culture necessary to keep humans solid and real so far from Earth, is necessary to live. The dual tidal reactor resonance system installed in the current macula, then, might be capable of a sort of birth. The Cryn Macula was completed on the inert pseudoplanet Hades, on the boundary between the solar system ruled by human gravity and that which isn't. When the system is activated, cosmic dust emanating from between the ship self's palms is crushed in the friction of the competing forces of the Cryn Macula's dual tidal reactors and ignites in the birth of a tiny star. It's a start, an anchor of gravity and culture for humans to begin colonizing the stars, a seed of possibility, and just as easily, the seed of the inversion of possibility. Stars go supernova and become black holes where the information of life, culture, is deleted. But they aren't afraid of Cryn Macula as much as they are afraid of Pluto. Her own tidal forces destroyed the first 17 prototypes. It's the girl with the love to be the mother of stars they're afraid of.
Don't build me up like that. I'm not that special. But I am that scary. I'm used to it. The only thing I just can't get over is just how unfair it all feels. Knowing how bad this could get, how wrong it could go. And it's still happening anyway.
The Cryn Macula is bigger than other ship selves in terms of its objective gravitational impression on space-time.
Yeah, I am feeling everything at once. But I'm feeling big, too. Feeling so big. I can feel it. Far and away. The sword of the real, Maricrisium, come to cut our dreams down. And the toxin of the inverse, string of pearls, come to turn the earth inside out. They're incredible girls, I can tell. But now Cradle's Graces has the power to fight back and keep space our home forever. I know I'm meant to do this. I've been trained my whole life to be the one in a million who can pilot this. I know I want to do this. Space is the only place where everyone can be happy, even if almost no one believes it. I want to keep it safe. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. Now I just have to do it. That's nothing compared to what it took to learn how. My body, my mind, my soul. They're all in order. I just have to do it. Before we go any further, is the volume okay? Folks in chat? That sound good?
I obviously can't tell.
Yeah. Blake says it's okay. Cool. Good to know. Memorial Foundation.
Time to fight the music.
Sorry, say again?
Time to fight the music.
Yeah. Yes. Which of us is reading this one? I've forgotten.
Me.
Okay.
It's Memorial Foundation. Sorry. It's January 1st, 1980. A long and cold war where humanity united against its nemesis, an existential threat from beyond the stars, has been over for a long time. Since the 50s, we have been fighting a war against an existential threat that we cannot understand, cannot perceive, and is powerless against the technology of Earth. That is a pretty stupid sort of war to fight, isn't it? When there's enough of a mess down here to worry about. Humanity is already the undisputed authority of reality, and we have the physics to prove it. It's time to return to Earth, our home, the seat of the universe. Before Earth takes us back in pieces, let's go home with grace. On the first anniversary of the decommissioning of the International Space Program, we, Memorial Foundation, Native Ear, Existential Safety, in agreement with our home planet's unanimous decision, declare there is no future for humanity in space. Let's come home. The Return Resolution. Memorial Foundation, Native Sphere, Existential Safety.
It's January 1st, 1981. It's been 1 year since we declared independence from Memorial Foundation and the rest of Earth. The Cold War is officially over. And it feels so light without their gravity weighing us down. How can a tiny handful of colonies, terraformers and schools hold out against the full authority of Earth? Because that ship doesn't fly past escape velocity. To power the ship cells we made to fight the Cold War, we made tidal resonators to bring the gravity necessary for humans and culture to survive in space. And that gravity is ours now, enough to make a new world, free from the weight of Earth. If Memorial Foundation wants to kill the future, they'll have to come and take it from us. We're thankful for our cradle's graces, but we're not coming back. Independence Declaration. Cradle's graces.
It's January 25th, 1981. Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Graces have been having fun for a little over a year, and nothing is breaking the stalemate. Earth is getting impatient. We have good reason to believe that the existential threat posed by a divided humanity in space is much greater than any theoretically malevolent entity outside the native sphere. While the kids are fighting, Earth is getting ready to list the humans remaining in space as part of the existential threat. And when they do, they'll send real weapons and end this war fought with plastic toys. Their justification? We're technically less than 100% human, just not human enough to be something else. It's hard to believe they're really onto us. It's time to make a drastic move. Bring our final piece, the prototype ship self-string of pearls we made in the atmosphere of planet Cronus, which will never be Saturn, to the lunar gravity well, where Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Graces are already headed. Whoever controls that place controls human access to space. We can be sure everything will be in place there. Earth or space, we are just short of 100% human. So let's see how much less than 100% we can get. Internal report, Celestial Mechanics.
Right. Day 1.
What?
Nix.
It's me again. Subject unacceptable. The funding is being cut again. They aren't getting the results they want. They think it's indulgent. They don't care about how the kids feel. It warms their hearts to see them grow unimpeded by the gravity of Earth, but also it disturbs them. They love our beautiful, free, glittering children. But when we talk about bringing Earth's children here, they look away. The children of space are not bound by the same laws of gravity and do as they like with their bodies and souls. You have insisted that they can endure the gravitational forces of Earth, but have you considered that their tidal forces do not wish to accommodate them? They will be smoothed back again, or broken. At the very least, they will never stop trying to destroy them. We have created magnificent, delicate creatures, and Earth wants them back. For what? To crush them again under their own tidal forces.
Kai, do you want to take this one?
Okay. Who is this? Ambient title information, a love story. I don't know who I'm sending this to, but I think about you all the time. In the back of my mind, I know a lot about you. Does that mean you know about me, too? Or are you just glowing brightly in a way that I don't understand? Is anyone else seeing this? Do you get messages like this all the time? Are you aware of how much you loom in the heart of someone you haven't met? What am I expecting? I don't even know. This is really awkward. Sorry for doing this. It must really be hard. No, I can't really know that. This is delusional of me. I'm going to make it stop, because if I don't, I'm going to come to hate you, because I'm already so frustrated I'm nothing like you. I need to understand why I tear myself apart thinking of you. I'm not going to send this. I don't know how to send this, and I hope you never read it.
That might have been Pluto, actually. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Sounds a bit Pluto-ish.
It does, yeah.
Anyway.
Right? Comms.
Mm-hmm.
Mars, Generation 2 pilot, first class. DMs open for fight requests.
Versus
And
Pluto.
Pluto's.
I'm thankful for my cradle's graces, but we're not coming back.
Still can't believe it. I felt that from here.
Yeah? Yeah? What was it like?
Incredible. For a moment, I felt like I was right next to you. It was even stronger than all of the times that you tested the prototypes. Stronger than the one time they let you fight before.
It's amazing. I've been training so long, I never knew how different it would feel to have my own perfectly suited just for me ship self. I'm gonna be extra mad at all of you for how long you left me behind.
Is it really safe, though?
Mars. Don't start, I'll get mad.
It's just more powerful than anything that's ever been developed. I don't like that Dr. Nix is making you do something untested all by yourself. No one person should have to do all the things that your unit is expected to do.
But I'm strong enough to do it, right? Powerful enough to stop Earth from taking us back? Strong enough to stop celestial mechanics from bringing the existential threat back? I can do it, right?
I mean, of course you can. No one else could, but doesn't mean you should do it alone.
I'm not alone. I've got you. And everyone else. We're all together. That's what we wanted, isn't it? I'm not locked up in a lab anymore. Aren't you happy for me?
I'm happy for you.
Are you really, really happy for me?
I'm super happy for you. I really am.
Are you scared of me now?
No way. Never. You're not something to be afraid of.
Oh. But that's wrong. You should be scared. I'm incredible. Excuse me a moment. I have to sneeze.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He's apparently traveled over the internet to you.
Wow.
I always have to sneeze. It's a permanent condition. Anyway, I feel like we should probably do Saturn's first. This time through.
Okay. Because
Just
I think on mine we did Lunaterra and Pluto first, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's just that I think we want to finish with Saturn on day 5 and then start with Lunaterra on day 6 next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The opposite of how we did it on mine. Yeah. That works.
Okay.
Pluto, why are you suiting up? The Celestial Mechanics Lab was wrecked, and the prototype escaped. We should be heading back to the inner solar system.
She's still here.
Who?
Some incredibly ridiculous, utterly irresponsible, dangerously devious brat.
not who you're talking about.
Don't be silly. You're not devious at all.
Then who? Also, hey!
They're being very tricky, so I can't quite tell. But I have rough coordinates. They slip between the cracks of the universe, play fast and loose with the laws of physics. Staying hidden and out of sight, but being really smug about it. I think they're showing off. So it couldn't be anyone but the pilot of Celestial Mechanics prototype, right?
Why? That's stupid. What sort of pilot would be that irresponsible with a prototype?
Hey, Mars. When you were in the academy, how many prototype units did you wreck?
Let's not talk about that now!
I'm just teasing, Mars. You're much better behaved now.
If the intel is true, their prototype is really powerful, even against you.
I know. I might not be able to stop her.
Location is the experimental lab. It was shut down right before Earth's canceled the space program. I don't like this place, Pluto. It's like they shut down Daphnis Lab and converted it into the perfect site for an ambush.
Really? It's too much for me.
Well,
It's stronger than the fleet I destroyed.
I mean, not saying not strong enough. But a stealth mission against a secret weapon is different. No one knows what Celestial Mechanics is planning, but it's always awful. Definitely a trap. This mission to the outer planets is only to destroy Celestial Mechanics labs and prevent Memorial Foundation from recovering the prototype.
Mars, if you keep trying to protect me, I'll get mad.
But
Let me have the tiniest bit of fun. I'll be fine. After all, I have a lot of experience correcting unruly show-offs who act out for attention.
This is all gonna be me again.
Is it? Shouldn't it be?
Yeah, it's you and Saturn.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I was having too much fun.
I'm really getting to show off my range by swapping between so many different voices once here.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Daphnis, the tiny shepherd moon, so small it barely earns the name, tumbles through the Keller Gap, ruffling the rings of the planet it orbits. It houses the last official laboratory of Earth's decommissioned space program, training ground of failures like Saturn, and special girls like Pluto. Saturn remembers it feeling cramped, anxious, and scary. No, wait. Pluto remembers it that way. Saturn remembers when it used to feel so special to be chosen, a candidate for the last generation of pilots. But didn't Pluto feel that way too? Sometimes two things are true. In this place, gravity is quietly degenerating. Distances are becoming ambiguous between past and present, between me and you. The Daphnis lab seems smaller to Saturn now, though not as tiny as it feels to Pluto. And that's obvious. No longer people-sized, she tears through it like worms in an apple. But there's a much bigger worm here, and she doesn't know anymore if this was a good idea.
Well, what was a good idea?
Saturn does. have any ideas. She's just trying to hide.
Even though there's no place where you cannot be felt by me.
Alert! Tidal resonance IFF confirms enemy. Warning! Gravitational hazard. Danger. Pressure exceeding safe range.
I know it's extremely exciting. Stop making me so nervous.
Supermassive. Small enough to hide in this complex. The dual reactor denser than the entire moon compressed into the head of a pin. An hour ago, and Saturn felt the gravitational pull of something so big and so close and so powerful. The interior of her cockpit creaked with the pressure, and her head, heart, and eyes welled up with tears. Something that couldn't be anyone other than Pluto.
Cool. She must be pretty big, huh? So why is she so hard to find?
Saturn has no idea.
Why do I have the feeling someone's laughing at me?
No one is laughing at Saturn. The lab's been abandoned for years. Pluto, wherever she is, giggles. Not in a mean way. She really does think it's cute.
I haven't thought about Pluto in a long time. Oh man, it really would be funny if she was in that monster.
Now someone is laughing at Saturn.
Hey, now I know someone's here. I can feel you listening. But I can hear you too. And I can catch you. You're not the only one who can fuck with the narrative.
Alright then, mutually assured destruction.
It's easiest to catch someone. If you don't care, you might get caught yourself.
Besides, if you want to drive someone wild, you gotta show them you're worth catching. And that you're good enough to catch them too.
The lab is dark. The malfunctioning lights cast an eerie glow. Dying culture, without gravity to hold it together. But she can hear the faint laughter rippling in the gravity. And where it's coming from. When you don't know the controls, mashing all the buttons at once is just as good.
Got you!
It's a hit. Her claws sink in. They tremble in the pressure. Whatever they've sunk into is bigger than belief. The Krun macula towers over Saturn. Pluto's ship is so big it barely fits in the complex, but it's only a speck compared to how big it feels. Supermassive enough to warp local space-time, humming and vibrating with nebula dust. Incredibly gentle, or she would have destroyed Saturn and the whole complex without even trying.
Oh wow, you got me.
No matter what size it appears, in the truest, most real sense of size, the ship is bigger than this moon, than anything Saturn can imagine. The string of pearls quickly flits away, but Krun Macula's grip is on her before she can twitch.
And I've got you, Saturn. I really was surprised to see you like this.
Cool, right? I've got poison now, too. Want to see if you're still the top weirdo psychic mutant in space?
Oh, wow. Sounds really cool. But I don't know if you're ready yet.
Want a bet?
Sure.
String of pearls screeches and buckles. Dust ignites. and a tiny portion of Pluto's tidal forces slam into her. Warning! Gravity hazard!
Had enough?
You kidding?
Okay, we can turn it up.
That sure is insane. It feels like my brain is melting into the universe.
You're the one who wanted to show off. You don't have to do that to endear yourself to me. But if you really want to impress me, you're going to have to do better than that.
Yeah? You're really still not impressed? Even by this?
By what? Oh, that does sting.
It spreads like poison, even through metal. It jumps like electricity, but drips like a liquid. Pink and impossible, and spreading quickly through the Quinmacula's body.
So you're not just full of risky bad ideas. That makes me happy. I won't shut you down too hard.
Okay, you win!
You're gonna be good now.
Okay. So, what did you want to talk about? As Cradle's Grace's glittering psychic death machine, you definitely have more important things to do than go out of your way to bully me for no reason, right?
Oh, that's right. That man and the fleet are escaping, aren't they?
I hope you don't mind falling for this trap.
Trap? You? Silly. I know you're more important than that.
More than catching the rest of the Celestial Mechanics fleet?
I knew this would be fun. And you knew it too.
I am absolutely delighted about you doing that, just to be clear, so you don't have to read my mind to roast me about it.
I can't read minds. You know that's not how it works. But I also don't need to know that. But I did want to know how the biggest overachiever of my juniors turned into such a bad girl.
Oh, if you really remembered me, you'd remember I wasn't ever good.
I do remember you. Even if you're not that good at being bad, do you know what you're doing? With that machine that's so dangerous we don't even want to find out what it does.
I think you answered your own question about why I'm keeping it. Are you gonna stop me then? But you don't want to. Hey, stop, don't pry into me. If you're pitying me, I'll make you regret it. Not all of us come out perfect like you. Some of us get thrown out before they see any use at all.
I won't pity you. I really would have torn this machine apart. But now that I'm here, gifted little mutant to gifted little mutant, I can't bear to. Because some of us just haven't been thrown out yet. Lab-grown girls like us should stick together.
I might still make you regret it.
Winning isn't my most important task. It's not yours either.
Are you sure about that?
You're not who I'm worried about. It's only your boss I can't forgive.
Oh, I love hearing that. Tell me more. I'm getting a crush already. Regretting it now?
Don't worry. There's nothing you can make me regret. I still really like that the first time you see the score screen, even no distortion at all shows up. It's such a I don't know how to put into words what that does for the game, but it does something, and it's really important. Europa time.
Okay. Regarding Mecha 2 Crunmacula, it was commissioned before it had a pilot, before the technology for piloting it had been developed, before the technology for its workings had been developed. I think we recognize that the construction was an act of faith. Nix's directive was to create the sort of self that we wish to see. I think, of course, that was the moment that it was clear to me that Nix was fighting for what she believed humans could be, but not who humans were. I think at the time I didn't understand the difference, or what Nix might not consider important because of her tendency to think this way. Many of the functions of the Crunmacula have not been invented yet. It is limitlessly expandable. I have, of course, requested for it to be decommissioned, but I believe ultimately you'll want to scrap it. If this committee has indeed found nothing in space worth salvaging, I would have to wonder about the committee's intentions and their curiosity towards this last fragment. The end results of the Crunmacula's functions are indistinguishable from Nix's dream, so there's no briefing I can provide that will be more comprehensive than the ones you received from Nix herself. I can only speculate on which she has or has not been able to implement successfully. As terrifying as the Crunmacula is, the pilot Dr. Nix has found for it is more terrifying by far. They might find a way to make it move, even yet.
Subject: Tidal theory and celestial mechanics. Let us begin with imagining an inert theoretical mass of matter, equivalent physically in all ways to the third body in this solar system, a theoretical planet Terra, absent of human culture. How would we model the physical properties of such a planet, where Jungian Newtonian mechanics do not apply? The soft science of celestial mechanics is not purely a thought exercise, but an inquiry into what, if any, default physical properties would exist in the universe without the influence of culture. Because of its potential application in space colonization, for its use in modelling the physics of foreign celestial bodies, and the utility of the concept of terror in the philosophical hard sciences, for more precisely defining Earth as the lands of human dominion rather than a specific physical body, celestial mechanics has been integrated as a branch of contemporary metacultural general relativity. What would it look like to imagine a world in which humans have one-to-one dominion over real phenomena? In such a world, we might think of gravity in multiple senses, since the agency of humanity over each other mentally, spiritually, and culturally would not be the same as physically. The conversion of matter into energy, and energy into culture, and culture back to matter again, is complicated by distortions caused by culture's ability to arbitrarily set conversion parameters. This is caused not because of power of human gravity, but actually by its weakness and incompleteness. In a theoretical universe in which humanity has full dominion over the physical universe, the influence of culture would be a one-to-one constant, and the physical universe would abide by inflexible, fundamental laws. In such a world, we would have to separate fields of study that involve metaphors from ones that describe worldly phenomena, because our world would be objectively determined. While humans would be able to disagree and to defy each other, they would describe an inflexible, perfect system, as decided by humanity.
People not following entirely along what he's describing as a theoretical construct for their world is our real world.
Yeah, pretty much. He's a bad guy. For those of you who didn't see the first two streams we did. Okay.
Also, that's what he wants.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you didn't have to do this.
But I love chatting with you. Especially about your latest sordid affairs.
Well, thanks. Wait, that's not what I meant. Sorted?
Dramatic? Tempestuous? Explosive?
Oh. No.
Problematic?
No.
Oh, I knew this was going to be fun. Tumultuous?
That's sexier, but that's still bad.
I mean, how would you describe them?
Like that. Intense or something. The last one was really good until the end.
Should I be more generous?
Well, it'd be nice.
But you're not very good at relationships.
Oh, mate.
It's kind of cute. You love people so much that you forget about them completely.
Your honesty really hurts sometimes, you know.
You fall for glittering faraway girls, but what you really need is someone who doesn't put up with you. There's got to be someone, somewhere, who won't let you get away with anything. I believe in you.
I'm trying to save the world. I don't really have time for this.
But you're not too busy to keep flirting.
God.
Sorry, BB. No mercy for you. Hey, Cozy, thanks for coming by. It's out of love. One day you're going to be as good at treating girls as you are at piloting. I think you're going to need to reread that one with slightly fewer decibels. All we got was...
Don't twist the knife.
Sorry.
Fine. I know I'm not great at it. Hey. You did that thing again.
Hmm? What thing?
You know, that thing. Where you changed the topic. And I forget what I wanted to talk to you about, so you don't have to answer. I have a chat log, and I can scroll back and see.
It's sweet you wish I didn't have to fight.
See, you do remember. You remember it better than I do.
But why don't we leave it at that?
Why?
Because there's nothing we can do about it.
We could find a way. Don't want you to do this if you don't have to.
Chat?
Oh! I mean, fight! Just did it again.
Oh man, I'm not gonna entirely say that my motive for doing this was just so that I could make Morty be Mars for me, but also, like, kind of. Oh my god, I love these two. Even if, like, Mars is painfully resonant.
Also, stretch and hydrate check.
Yes. I live in a fish pond, but you might need to hydrate.
Mm-hmm.
I am already a third of the way through my water bottle, don't worry. Right then.
I'm keeping myself hydrated too because of the fact that, like, I have to voice Mars. I have to.
Yep. Yeah.
I have to survive voicing Mars. I have.
And Lunaterra next as well.
Right.
Let's go. Mars, are you okay? You look like someone punched you in the face. What happened?
Someone punched me in the face.
Sorry. It's been so long since you got in a fight with the flight crew. It feels a little nostalgic.
I'm fine, by the way.
People who start fights don't get sympathy.
They started it when they wouldn't let me fly.
And who threw the first punch?
Part doesn't matter.
Mars's little face. Like, upside down V-mouth. Mm-hmm.
They don't let me go, then you'll have to fight that traitor all by your... Shit.
Oh. Why didn't I feel it earlier? Of course she's here.
That I was going to tell you. Memorial Foundation also knows about the prototype, and they sent their ace to get it.
No, I understand. You were so excited you just had to run out to see her, huh?
That right? Run out and punch that traitor Lunatera in the face as hard as I can.
Ah.
Worse! After pretending that she was going to fight for the colonies even after Earth abandoned us and demanded we come home, she double-crossed us. We're going to do this together. I've missed punching that insufferably smug face for a year. It's finally time to show her that we're not going to forgive her for betraying us at the worst moment, leaving us alone, barely able to keep fighting his careless races. But it's not like we ever needed her, and...
I know. I miss her too.
Are you not listening to me?
I've been listening to the two of you say the same things about each other for a really long time. And it doesn't sound any different.
Nothing like it was before. I'm not playing games.
When we were in the academy, you were always chasing her. You'd swing the first punch, and she'd laugh, and you two would fight, and then you'd make out. And then you'd do it all over again. I miss that so much. But if you go after her, it'll happen just like that all over again.
Talking about me like I'm that predictable. It's different now.
Orders are orders for a reason, you know.
I'm still not okay with it. They're making you use that terrifying machine. It's way too dangerous.
I'm sorry, I really am. But Mars, if it makes you feel any better...
What? You're breaking up?
I can't wait to fight her. I love her, understand her, and forgive her. But I'm still mad. How come you both get to have all the fun? Who wants to stay home while you two get to fight and make out? You don't know how scary this machine is, Mars. And it's so much less scary than me. I don't want you to see me like that. But I really, really want Lunatera to see.
Pluto? You cut out for a second there. What did you say?
I said tough luck. It's my chance to shine now.
Like waking up underwater to the wet burn of your lungs' desperation for air. Like floating untethered in space, unable to move under your own power. Losing the security of gravity is like being naked in space. Gravity is necessary for human life in space. Gravity is necessary for unrestricted movement in space. Can't have one without the other. The force that binds your existence together, the force to shape foreign bodies, pure agency. Gravity is necessary not just to live in space, but to be human in space. But being human is a little harder for Pluto, so she has to work for it. The tidal forces of her spacefaring body, the Chronmacula, are as strong as she believes, and as weak as she feels. And Lunaterra needs to make sure all the calculations are in order. Everything in her ship operates manually. She's just been at it long enough that it feels like a second skin. The jolt of nostalgia interrupts Lunaterra's mental math. She forgets to carry the 1. It interrupts Pluto's focus, and she has a moment where she's not invincible. Close enough to touch the surface of the moon lab, Lunaterra is seen and known by Pluto, and they are suddenly falling down the well of too late, and nothing you can do.
I knew it.
It's important to get a grip. Knowing that there's nothing you can do is something Pluto considers freeing, and Lunaterra considers exciting. Feeling doomed is clear permission to do whatever. As soon as Maricrisium is through the cloud cover, she fires solid light into the remains of the Celestial Mechanics Lab and chases it through the wound. The lab was recently damaged by the illegal launch of a hijacked ship, but that damage is barely noticeable compared to the massive hole left by a much, much larger ship crashing through. Lunaterra acts fast under pressure. If there's no point in hiding, there's no point in stopping. It's true. Lunaterra is living on the whim of Chronmacula, which can probably do whatever to her at any time. If she can't run away, she wants to make the first move. It's the sort of thing that makes a lot of sense if you think about it, and no sense at all if you think a little more. But that's Lunaterra, isn't it? She's betting you'll think too much, or not enough. Against Pluto, is that really such a good idea? She's someone who always thinks just enough. Which makes it easy for Lunaterra to slip through, deep into the lab, until it gets quiet, except for the sounds of the moon quaking and trembling. After almost a year, the dread and the thrill is way too much to slow down and start talking. That's what the arrow flying into Pluto's gravity well is saying. Who will make the first move? When Lunaterra punctures the last armor layer and opens up the terminal cavern, light spills out and screaming sound, because the Chronmacula is peeling the lab and most of the moon inside out with the forces of its own tides. It's not something that's impossible or anything. It's just something that's only possible in theory, which is still terrifying, more terrifying. And more terrifying than that power is Pluto's finesse. And more terrifying than the finesse is her gentleness, spooling matter like threads in the tiny galaxy of which she is the sun. Her power is very kind, but it's also a little perverse. What meaning does mercy have from something that can core out a moon? Chronmacula's developers compared it to a black hole. They wanted a machine so powerful and absolute even light couldn't escape it. Lunaterra understands now that was wrong. She's a star, gushing and twinkling with matter and light. Who wouldn't be swept up in that? The Maricrisium is so small. Pluto has never seen it from a perspective like Chronmacula's before. She never imagined it would look so fragile from here, like a toy version of the fierce fighter she remembered. Pluto's sense of scale is true. Lunaterra feels just like a plastic toy, too.
Come on, say something. It's making me sad.
It really does fit you. So much more than I ever thought.
Is it hard to look away? Being able to render you speechless is the power I've always dreamed of. What do you think? I know just a look won't change your mind, but I want you to tell me.
Tell you what? That I regret betraying you? I told you then it would.
No, I won't let you do that, Lunity. Did you think I'd be mad? I mean, of course I'm mad at you. But not for anything you did to me. I wouldn't ever be mad at you for not having enough faith in me to see through Cradle's Grace's dream of a new home for humans in space. I'm just mad at you for not having enough faith in yourself to see it through. And leaving all the work to me. Well, I guess that is why I'm a little upset with you. Not mad, you know.
Just disappointed.
I can't believe I'm still the one scolding you like a kid.
I'm trying to be the grown-up, you know. I did the responsible thing. I took the realistic option. I'm here to play the part of the boring adult, the grown-up villain.
Oh, that's right. I remembered where I am. I actually am mad at you. You better not go down quietly. You better really believe what you just said. I'll never forgive you if you left us for something stupid. Sorry, there. I'll forgive you if you left us for something stupid. But I'll never forgive you if you left us for something you don't believe in. And you better not believe in it. Because I also won't forgive you for fighting for a future that cruel.
Doesn't leave me a lot of options. I don't think I can fight against that.
Don't you dare. I won't forgive that either. Were you hoping, maybe, that it wouldn't be like this? That I wouldn't have to fight?
It'll change you. In ways you don't understand.
I've seen you fight so many times. I saw when you got that scar, and your poor ship got her wound. Has anyone else seen that side of you as much as me?
I think so. Not even Europa. But it's different when you're on the other side.
You think I don't really know you, because I've never stared down the barrel of your rifle or felt that knife nick my ship?
A different kind of knowing.
Teach me then. Or I'll teach you.
Time for Lunaterra to get schooled.
As soon as Pluto blinks, that's the moment Maracrysium attacks, a little out of fear, mostly out of awe. It's a confused move, the first move, which is so unlike her. So unlike her that it nearly takes Chronmacula by surprise. All matter parts along the vectors of inertia that Pluto has set, but these bullets stubbornly curve, bury into her flank and sting with a sharp and subtle gravity of their own.
Ow! That kind of stings, Lunity. Stop doing things like that.
Lunaterra is crushed instantly, and she's dead. No, Lunaterra dodged at the last second. No, the Maracrysium is torn apart from every joint. No, Lunaterra is safe at home. She never left. No, Lunaterra hasn't moved, and it's only because she can't bring herself to. Lunaterra is feeling ghosts of the space-times that Pluto has cut off, escape routes she rushed for but don't exist. Lunaterra is trying to think of something to say, she really is, but it's impossible, because Chronmacula is the size of the universe. Her sleeping nebula glows with the promise to swallow up the space station and Lunaterra and the whole solar system.
That's not the way, Lunity. You have to come for me like you really mean it. Well, that's what's gonna happen.
The Maracrisium's engines spin to no response. Lunaterra's mind is racing, but there's no thought she can hold on to. Except how disappointed and sad Pluto is.
If you give me just one moment, you'll pass my event horizon. And you'll never escape. Always getting closer, but never getting there. Falling forever. If you don't figure out how to unstick yourself, I might leave you there. Remember for next time, okay? Don't keep breaking my heart.
The Maracrisium plummets, and the Chronmacula rises up, exiting the moon like a shooting star, tearing the lab up into space with her.
Memorial Foundation?
Ever since the day Mars began, Mars has been doomed. No, there never will be a planet Mars. That's a name reserved for places where human life, gravity, and culture reign. This is just bitter Aries. But like the stringy, inedible weeds that grow when nothing else does, Cradle's Graces is dug in, and we can't get them out. The colonies are wrecked. The terraforming engines are broken. The gravity furnaces are out of control. There's no resources left on this planet, no strategic value. This planet doesn't even exist. It is an inert rock. There's no point in fighting. There's no need to fight. Ship selves can't keep you alive alone forever. And even if that was the case, we could leave tomorrow and claim victory. Most of the Memorial Foundation and SES fleet already did. That's why there's barely any of us left and why we can't get them out. What? Why don't I go home too? And leave all those idiots to just fucking die on a rock? Who do you think we're doing this for? External communication sent August 31st, 1978 by Memorial Foundation troops.
Hey, it's not like we're idiots. We know we're doomed. This planet still doesn't fulfill the requirements for human life. And life is just the start, anyway. Don't you know that gravity is something more important? You do understand celestial mechanics, right? Matter is made of tiny particles, but enough of it exerts gravity that stitches the universe together. Culture is made of tiny humans, and enough of it together can decide what's real and what isn't. It is really quite fucked up that this is how decisions about humans get made. Enough humans can decide anything, and then it'll be true, even about what's human and what's not. They don't even have to wait for the deadline. They've already decided that any human without their feet planted on the earth is in fact not a human. That's a pretty usual thing for humans to do. No differences of any kind need to exist. We'll just be aliens, and then they'll send the real military after us, and we'll die. But if we just hold the line here for our princess to get through and make it to the moon, she'll open up the gravity well. And then we get to decide. Internal communication sent on January 25th, 1981 by Cradle's Graces Irregulars.
It's morning on Aries, but what's time in space? If we can get our capital ship launched and refueled, and the prototype retrofitted with the final equipment, we'll have everything in place. Keep out of the canyons of Mars, where Cradle's Graces and Memorial Foundation are bickering, hold the city ruins against invading troops, and make sure no one tries to set the oxygen ocean on fire while we refuel. That's a pretty thankless job. But me, I can't wait to see what happens. This is the most exciting space has ever been. Before we got here, this was a dead rock, but the best we could have ever hoped for was Earth in a different place. Who needs that? Far in the distance, the moon's gravity well shines. If no one controls it before the deadline is up, Earth will take drastic steps to ensure that humanity is not divided. What they're afraid of happening, we will ensure that it happens. We'll finally have something alien in space. Private communication sent on January 26, 1981 by a celestial mechanics researcher.
Day 3. All missions on Cronus orbit completed. Maiden flight and testing of Chronmacula is done.
Report received. Awaiting new directives.
I'm heading back to Ares, of course. It's the home of Cradle's Graces, after all. We have to finish up the last touches on Chronmacula and prepare for the last battle on Earth's moon. Celestial mechanics will regroup and refuel there, and maybe we can nip them in the bud. A memorial foundation has been fighting us there since the conflict began. Maybe this time we can push them back. Send a message to everyone. Time to come home. So we can be ready for the journey. Ready for launch? One thing that's probably worth noting there is that, unlike the other two, Pluto is notionally the actual, leader of Cradle's Graces, and all the others work for her. Although it doesn't always come across that way.
One of the things that's really interesting about Pluto's pre the interstitials with Narita OS that Pluto has. Pluto is in control.
Yeah.
Ostensibly. In that, if Pluto is the deciding factor, everything down to she is able to dictate terms to the operating system without having to hack it.
Yes. Yeah.
The OS is already programmed to listen to her when she dictates her directives. She doesn't have to make it. She doesn't have to fool it into doing something.
Anyway, both of these are going to be.
Also, this is a double dose.
Yeah, afraid so.
This is all going to be me. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of me today for this particular day in the game. Pilot interfacing, Mars. Okay, well, so the very first thing you need to know about pilot interfacing is that it's the most important part of piloting. You don't really have to know any of this stuff, but since you asked, I'll give you the basic rundown. There are actually a few ways it's useful to know, even if it's basically just to explain why no one can do anything to stop you because of the completely unfair bullshit you have. Any given chip self may have a variety of prescribed functions, That's the machine's intent. It's not that the machine has consciousness, even if it seems like it does. That's just projection and inaccurate metaphor. Even if you're using a made-to-order ship for you alone or customizing it for that purpose, you still have to bring your intentions in line with the craft's. That's what interfacing really means. That's why interfacing is the most important part of piloting, and why basically the only thing the R&D crews do is find better ways to reduce the lag.
Is that written to Saturn? Do you think? Because in Luna Terra's route, there was a long Mars section where she was explaining astrology to Luna Terra, and the tone was slightly different, and the subject matter as well. But I'm wondering if that's Mars explaining the basics that Saturn has kind of missed out on.
My impression is that it's implied to be Mars talking to Pluto, actually, I think. But
Maybe, yeah, I suppose. Because Pluto's not had to think about
but
that stuff either.
like because like there is literally no reason for Mars to be talking to Saturn. Like Saturn has always been a part of like what eventually became celestial mechanics. So unless this is a very old message sent from Mars, it's going to be something that Mars is talking to Pluto about.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And if it were a very old message from Mars to Saturn, there would be another way to distinguish it.
Yeah.
And also, Mars is maybe the only person who talks to Pluto like Pluto as an equal. So, the fact that Mars is talking like she expects she has to actually explain this shit to Pluto,
Yeah.
She like expects that Pluto might need some instruction, is kind of like, it doesn't mean that she's not talking to Pluto. It just means that Mars doesn't see Pluto. The reason why Mars and Pluto get along is because of the fact that Mars has literally never seen Pluto as the way everyone else in Kratos Graces does. Because remember, from Mars's perspective, and from a lot of other people's perspectives, even though she's not the protagonist of her own route in this game, the version of the story that Mars is living out is one where she very much could have been.
Yeah.
Unlike literally everyone else who is in the same position that Mars is in relative to their pilot.
Yeah.
Like Mars, they describe Mars as if this were a normal story, Mars would be the protagonist. If this were a more normal giant robot story, in some ways, Mars would absolutely be the protagonist.
Yes. Hence the getting in fights with the flight crew.
Yes, because Mars doesn't recognize that this isn't her story, because she has no reason to.
Okay.
And White Void. The fearful power of it is evident. So much so that I hesitate to even criticize it. It is the nature of the tyrant theory that it is fed by all things, including attempts to dismantle it. It can simply assimilate those theories and absolve itself of potential guilt and rhetorical weakness by assuming new forms, because it has no inherent premise that is not fungible, but the impulse to make all else part of it. Far from expanding to incorporate diverse and contradictory ideas into itself, the theory would remove alternate quantum states until finding a solution that would incorporate perfectly in line with the unified culture theory. This is a necessary and inherent step, because in order to prevent any given feature of such a theoretical culture to be subject to aversion, gravitational pull of the culture must be so great that no information about it can escape. As the theory accumulates culture through culture mass energy conversion, its gravity would steadily begin to grow and its energy decrease until it began to continuously collapse into a single coordinate, and no distinguishing information would be able to escape. The interplay of variant states is necessary for culture to create and change, and this unified field culture would be unable to do so. It would only be able to assimilate and devour. Such a theory would not redefine hierarchy, but enshrine it forever. Far from a compassionate future for humanity, it would necessitate the complete removal of human variance. All humanity and all existence would revolve around a singularity of the unified field culture, the tyrant theory, a white void, a single conqueror thought at the center of the universe. And this is where Heaven Will Be Mine loses a lot of people. But this is where but we're going to have to come back to this at some point. But maybe not during the game. But
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely talk for like an hour just about, where are we? The last paragraph of this.
I mean, what she is describing is the fundamental end goal of analytic philosophy, as you probably well know.
Yeah.
Like this is the great whole, the nemesis at the heart of Wittgenstein's ambitious desire to redefine language, that he didn't see, that his idealism disallowed him to recognize that he was creating as a demon that would haunt the rest of philosophy after he was dead.
Thank God for Kurt Gödel. It's also, by the way, the actual reference point I was going to go to was like, I'm wondering how much the setting of this game in like 1980-81 and immediately after like 77-78 has to do with like the invention of the Hollywood blockbuster and the advent of like Reagan. Like lots of things happen there that might be going on.
The Reagan years, Thatcher, and all of the 80s and AIDS hang over this game like a shadow that is never spoken.
Yeah.
Not unlike Neath. Which I don't make that illusion unnecessarily. Remember, Neath got turned inside out got turned inside out as a sacrifice.
Well,
but yeah. Now that we've gone heavy,
let's move on.
Maybe.
Are you scared?
Yeah. You?
Yeah, but I'm excited too. I'm looking forward to what we could be.
Hey, Pluto? How can you be sure?
Sure? About what?
Sure about anything? Everything is so frustrating, pointless, doomed. No matter how hard I fight, it stays that way. So how can you be sure it's not going to be that way someday?
You're the person I want to ask that. Because you fight every day like you're not thinking about those things.
What's that supposed to mean? I've gotta fight. That's what we have to. Of course I still think about those things. Even when I'm fighting.
Sorry, Mars. Of course you do.
Everyone has doubts like that.
Even me then, right?
But it doesn't feel like you do? I mean, make it seem like everything's gonna be alright.
But you just do what you have to, without even worrying about it. Without even worrying about whether it's right or not, or if it will come to anything or not. You're a genius, you know? You're smarter than me.
That's not true. I just have to stop thinking if I want. Just do whatever it is that needs doing. I put myself on pause. Don't you?
Maybe that's why I'm still so scared. Okay. Deep dive.
Is she operational?
Mars,
All checks clear?
honey.
Dual title resonator, sync, clears, all checks.
It's close enough to tear a moon inside out.
And you're really still sure about this?
Mars, I love you very much, and I'm going to scream if you ask me one more question.
What? Yes!
Sorry, I just couldn't back off after saying that.
My soul hurts. Why did you do that?
Because you didn't listen to me. Give that one another go. One notch down.
Listening.
You didn't listen. You've got such a bigger heart and you don't listen with it at all.
Don't want you to go.
That's better. It's what you really wanted to say. I'm glad you could say it.
You're not going to listen to it.
Nope.
You could, at least, after you just said.
Not at all. Don't sulk. This was always the plan. We have to show everyone what this weapon can actually do. This is just a taste, but no one is going to respect what we do on the moon if we can't grab their attention first. Destroying the whole Celestial Mechanics fleet while they're docked at the Oxygen Ocean is going to get some attention. Even if I only destroy them a little bit, it'll be pretty amazing. So it's a job that's impossible to mess up. If you keep worrying, what else am I supposed to think, except I must seem that incompetent to you?
I care, okay?
I'm not mad, Mars. But let me lean on you while I do this. Instead of blocking my way.
Balance shifts. Because Pluto tugs, and Saturn tugs harder. Deep. So deep, crushing and dark, but the string of pearls has organs that see everything. Smoky and cold, she slips down in a stream of evaporation, just shy of being the spark that blows it all up. Whatever's down there, but don't play dumb, because Saturn knows exactly who and what's down there. He's playing coy.
Oh, interesting. Do you have the same idea, Pluto?
Breaking up. Title.
Cutting off the comms? Well, now I don't have to cut the comm line myself.
Saturn doesn't have to play by anyone's rules, even and especially the rules of the universe. It's made of a last-minute miracle. Loves it best when it's just waiting on the edge between one possibility and another, tempting fate and not caring where it lands. Pluto doesn't cross the rules. She's the universe itself. A perfect target for Saturn and the wall she crashes against. She's not playing coy. She's looking for someone to crash against her. From the depths, Macula tugs, but playfully. String of Pearls takes the invitation and yanks back. Not so playfully at all.
Hey, Boo. Do you want to play?
I sure do. But come up and play my game.
Oh. Oh, sure. If you can make me.
Macula is the plunge into fascination. A fall omnidirectional into the end of the universe. Macula can drown the ocean in her gravity. But String of Pearls has the greatest trick. The String of Pearls cheats distance. can't ignore it, but she can interpret it differently. So function of x equals an anxious avoidant, infinitely approaching and never reaching asymptote. Or maybe the function of x can be a curve accelerating rapidly into infinity. That isn't hard for Saturn. Just the results. Mercury would be screaming if the comms were still on. Because this is a big risk! The most dangerous and guaranteed way to get the Celestial Mechanics fleet wrecked. If she isn't careful. And even if she is. Closing distance is mutual. Pulling Pluto out of the depths of the oxygen ocean is not something she's doing for them. If Saturn wants to change the rules, then Pluto will let her. She'll be the one to set the variable. No matter what, Saturn sets the function of x too. Pluto sets the force. She can go slack if she wants to. Saturn's equation is something like f of x equals the closer you approach, the further I move away. A hard equation to solve. Are you up to it? Along the equations of gravity, Saturn fires hooks. They wouldn't have hit without the equation, but it was the moment of Pluto's curiosity that they bet on. That is enough. The ocean plunges. The ships rock.
Hi, Sophie the Bookworm. Thank you for the follow.
Emergency retraction. Max output.
Okay. I was trying not to cause so much trouble. I just wanted to delay you for a little while. But if you really insist, I'll come make all the trouble you want.
That's funny, considering how hard you've been wrecking the Celestial Mechanics fleet. I'd almost think you weren't going easy at all.
Saturn pulling hard. But it's like trying to pull a star out of a black hole. Something about the way Pluto reacts makes Saturn think it might still be possible.
You're working hard. I was just sent to make sure you all didn't have an easy time.
I've never worked hard. Ever.
You sound like kind of a liar. You're sure you're not still a bit good?
Say it to my face!
Okay. If you really, really insist, I can get carried away too.
Saturn's capture cables go slack. And she shoots up and out of the ocean, pulled by the panicking surface crew. Fusion input has changed. The number Pluto has changed it to gives Saturn a thrill. As the oxygen tidal wave starts building, the ocean trembles. The fleet sees and nearly capsize. But Saturn breaks out of the liquid and into the sky. And Pluto is pulled up and out and free. The Croton Macula is more frightening and powerful than Saturn remembered. But she can't be scared now. Well, maybe she can. A little. But this is what she wanted, too. A beautiful solution to her equation. It's hard to know someone you haven't fought them. That's something she's known for a long time. The pain of wondering if you just aren't good enough to stand next to someone. She'd prefer to know where she stands. For Pluto, who was made to be so overwhelming that in her presence, no other option but peace can exist, she doesn't have anything to prove to herself. Win or lose, she's open when others are honest. Between ship selves, all conflict must be honest. It's the only way to make contact. That's the moment she's waiting for. To give life to all the feelings unleashed when she decided she'd let herself have them. The Celestial Mechanics fleet can't do anything but wait, and think about how this is probably all Saturn's fault.
You're strange, Saturn. I don't know what to think. You think you can't win, but you're trying anyway. What do you want to make happen? So sure and unsure of yourself.
Just come on already. We can't all be gravitational beauties.
Tides come from people, and people are people, whether they get there being taught or being made.
Keep the pity out of your voice, or I won't be having fun anymore.
I don't pity you. I was very lucky. There's no reason why I got to be so lucky. But I'm selfish, too. I didn't deserve it, but I'll never feel guilty about it. I had too much at stake to feel guilty when I got everything I wanted.
I know exactly how that feels. Unlike you, though, they took it away again when they were done with me.
Oh? It looks like they weren't able to for very long, though. You won't get anywhere with girls if you insist on believing you had it the worst. Every girl has it the worst.
You know, I liked it better when I was dragging you.
Are you ready to try again? Teach me a lesson, or get over yourself. Let me see what's under that envy.
Saturn's got a good idea. Even as the Cruden Macula tosses the fleet apart with tidal forces, the string of pearls closes in. She can be his closest touch, yet always out of reach. This time she sets f of x to as close as can be. Of course, that's in the crush of her gravity well, but that's fine, because Saturn has dedicated her life to being a fucked up loser.
I thought for sure I could make you squirm, but you're so perfect you're even better at accepting that you're not perfect than me. But that's not to say that I'll let up for a moment, no matter how bad at this I am.
I love that. It's a great thing about you. You don't know how strong your belief is. You know you're going to lose, but fight anyway. Believe you're going to win even still.
I always win, even when I lose. I would never go in if I didn't know that.
Electrotoxic waves sting the Cruden Macula as she embraces the string of pearls. It's like making out with a battery. It's uncomfortably like getting electrocuted, but comfortably like making out.
How long can you keep that up? How long can you last if you're crushed like this?
What? Isn't this a great idea? Being crushed like a pancake under you is great!
You're really incorrigible. I love it. But I can last longer than you can.
Maybe, but is it worth it? You're not able to waste time like I can.
I'll make it way worse for you.
But I can keep this up. I've got nothing to lose.
That's so selfish and ridiculous. It's the worst for anyone. I love it. It's really kind of outrageous. I can't believe it. Okay, you win, even though your side objectively loses. What do you want?
Saturn's weapons slow and fizzle, but Pluto doesn't quite let go.
Just hearing I won is all I want.
You're really right about yourself. You're totally the worst. I wish I could just be like that.
Next time we meet, I'll show you.
Day 4.
Fails Graces at 37%.
My turn. Alien Phenomena and the Pilot Program. The Scout program was created to be fungible with various other religions or philosophies in direct response to the immediate post-war need to address growing existential threats. As a stopgap measure, the Memorial Foundation has had frustrations with indefinite extensions of scouting programs internationally, and mostly universal failure to advance beyond the need for it. The model, or more specifically, the Scouts, were a victim of the space program's own success at fighting the Cold War. With support for a unified approach to space in order to prevent human cultural rivalry, the Memorial Foundation has been granted an opportunity to revise the Scouting program and change the reactive war of attrition into a proactive one, and confront the existential threat directly. Excuse me. The existential threat is the alien threat. We must think of them as one and the same. What is not known to us is the alien. The alien is defined by that most familiar function, f of x equals that which is human that humans are not. A fascinating logical paradox of much utility in research is the thought exercise. Imagine something that humans could not imagine. Logically, you should not be able to do it. It is inherently impossible to imagine something that you have by definition the capabilities to imagine. And yet, this thought exercise leads us to begin defining, first, what is human, in other words, what is conventional, and then, by this same process, to imagine what is unconventional. In fact, this is the essence of conquering the unknown, rather than allowing it the power to rule, and to safely integrate it into culture, than for it to fester in anti-culture. But it will not produce what is truly alien to us. Solving this puzzle requires us to be part of what humanity does not want. Solving this puzzle requires us to be part of what humanity does not wish us to be.
A follow-up to Mars's previous message from from the other day. Fine, okay. I know I didn't get to the point, but I have to build up to it, okay? The contextualizing information is important, but okay, I will. Also, this confirms that this is being sent to Pluto.
Yeah.
Actually talk about it this time. Mechanical interface is how machines typically work. You're going to yell at me for not being clear if I don't say this, but if I say, that's when you've got physical switches and buttons and steering devices and you move them with your hands, that doesn't actually really convey it. Because you do those things in your ship self, but you don't use mechanical interfacing. So it actually matters that it is defined as exact mental instruction. It does exactly what you tell it. You can make anything you want to happen, but you have to give it exact instructions. There's the physical lag between yourself and the machine, but there's also the nuanced nature of giving the instructions. That's a really hard thing to do. Obviously, most people would prefer to move a machine on raw instinct or like part of their body. I don't think many people actually get the best results from an interface like that. Unless, yes, they're like our mutual ex. Hey, is that what you wanted to know?
Play it again, Mars. Speaking of which, do you ever miss Lunaterra?
What? No. In case you've forgotten, she betrayed us and went back to Memorial Foundation. I know you want her back because you are kind and forgiving. But I'm not. I'll kick her butt if I ever see her again.
But that's no different than how you two used to be. You two only fight less now. That's the part that's sad.
Smug. Always a know-it-all and always one step ahead. The worst senior pilot, and she didn't teach me shit.
Breakups really do turn all your memories sour, huh?
That's... Shut up. Lunaterra is the only one I feel that way about.
I know, you pine after good girls way too much. I think dating bad people is good for you.
To go through that again? No thanks. The only thing I miss is the expression on her face after I got one up on her.
Her smile, you mean?
You miss it too.
I do. I'm glad you can get nostalgic sometimes too. Do you miss the days of the Cold War? Fighting against the existential threat too?
It was scary in a different way. It was so easy, I never had to think about it. Tearing through that ephemeral light that was only sort of there. It was scary because we didn't know what would happen or what it was. But we didn't need to know any of those answers, and we just got to fight forever. It was fun.
Until I came along.
What do you mean?
If you think about it, it was me, wasn't it? Before they even finished the Macula, even in just the prototype. In my first provisional mission, I wiped out the enemy in the time it took to blink. And they haven't come back since. Before, it was fun for everyone. You were strong, but it was still hard. But there was no point in sending all of you out to protect Earth when it turned out the existential threat was so weak I could destroy it with the snap of a finger.
That's reversing cause and effect. They just used that as an excuse to stop caring about colonization. Even if it was never a threat to our existence, they didn't have to give up on everything. It's not your fault.
Right.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Recalibrating. How's the stability? Remember to keep the left side balanced.
It's fine, Mars. You don't have to fuss so much.
There's just no reason to take a test flight without escorts. Especially with Memorial Foundation patrolling the area.
Mars, they really could be doing anything at all more useful. This ship doesn't need protection from anything, even if we're exposing the cause for testing. And you know I hate being treated like a princess.
But you are important. And your ship is too. It's not fussy and annoying to be looking out.
It is too annoying. I'll be annoyed by whatever I want. Stop being jealous. I'm not looking for an excuse to bump into Luna T.
I never said that. Listen to Dr. Nix for once, even if you won't listen to me. Look, I'm not escorting you. You win, okay? But please, just be careful. I know you think I treat you like glass, but I really... What's so funny? Why are you laughing?
Sorry. It's just hard for me to stay mad when you're such a dork. And you care so much. Even if you're non-apologizing and still want so bad to be a knight in shining armor, you're the only one I can still be such a petulant kid in front of, instead of the princess everyone loves.
Wait, you're just being a brat for fun? Mad now.
Everyone else gets to be, especially you.
Stop me!
Remember when, in the academy, when people asked you where I was, they'd say, Hey Mars, where's your...
Okay, launch permissions cleared. You are cleared for takeoff.
Right. Okay. I think I remember this one.
Do you though?
The balance shifts because Lunaterra hesitated, and Pluto did too. Pluto passed over the Aries canyons once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. Lunaterra had a chance to make the first move, but Pluto couldn't keep pretending she didn't notice her lying in wait. It wasn't that Lunaterra was ready to take the shot, it's that she still hadn't decided to take it or not. Pluto has been waiting for her to grow up for a long time. She's tired of being the one waiting. There's no time for elegant duels or anticlimactic sniping. When Chronmacula crashes into the canyon, it's the worst kind of fight. Chronmacula's fingers will no longer open or close, but she swipes with the useless limb anyway. The ring finger of Pluto's ship self twists off, breaking with the force of backhanding Merecrisium into the canyon wall, which scrambles to its feet and then falls down immediately. Lunaterra's balance gyros must be broken, but that's not so bad. At least she still has 2 legs, unlike the Chronmacula.
Luna T, you really are the most stubborn woman I know. I'm proud of you, but that you're only this tenacious when I'm finally being serious is a little vexing, you know?
I've kept going this long. It has to count for something, right?
I don't want to wreck you. I just really need you to win or lose. Could you do that, please?
Both of those are hard to do.
Then you've got 5 minutes to grow up.
Pluto's reach is longer than expected. Little tricks of gravity. It might not be enough. The Merecrisium was made to not be caught. More precisely, Lunaterra made the Merecrisium something that couldn't be caught.
No, don't you dare!
Her fingers refuse to close, and Merecrisium slips away.
Sorry, I'm such a cockroach.
Don't be. Slipping away is so like you, I don't know what else I expect. Lunity, I really can't let you get away. Not without an answer.
I'm not going to do that.
What are you trying to do then?
We promised we'd fight until one of us won. Then we'd go along with whatever the other decided.
So why are you trying to take that away from me?
Lunaterra holds Chronmacula's severed left tidal reactor. Pluto can go without it, but not for long. It's what makes the Chronmacula so impossible, and without it, she can't be impossible for very long.
That core is everything I have. But the rest of me isn't going to last long without it, so it might as well be everything. If I don't have that, I can't follow you, win or lose.
I really don't think it's good for you.
The Chronmacula makes a leap and crashes into the ground, just short of the Merecrisium. It's just close enough Lunaterra nearly forgets to take the opportunity to get a shot in Chronmacula's chest before she can recover to block it.
You're going to lecture me about doing what's healthy? You've got a lot of nerve. It's not cute.
We had to fight each other like this. I really wish it didn't have to be with you in that thing.
You don't like it, huh? You've always been like this. You're trying to tell me what's good for me? You don't want to admit that this is really me? Lunati, I would listen to you if you would ever listen to me once, ever.
Told you. I haven't gotten any better in the time we've been apart. I don't want you not be strong or beautiful or amazing. I just don't want you to be holding this weight of Cradle's graces, everyone's hopes and dreams, all by yourself. Please, just rest for now.
Don't tell me that. I hate this, hate this, hate this. You never listen, and you know I'll always let you win in the end. But not this time.
Don't know what you mean.
I've been really patient. So if you keep playing dumb, you're going to make me mad.
I said I don't know what you mean. I don't want anything else. I'm a cockroach. Don't need anything myself.
Liar. Are you trying to make me mad?
Satisfied with it. Don't have any other answer. If I had one, I'd give it. Drop it.
I'm not satisfied. No. You grow up and you be the adult for once. Get back here!
Queen Macula's feet are still broken, but Pluto moves her with gravity alone. Maricrisium's engine's flare navi is broken. Everything is broken, but it will move.
No, 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 no! Not this time!
Queen Macula's twin tidal reactors are falling apart with one of them nearly torn out, yet she still moves. The pressure of the unrestricted gravity peels the paint off Maricrisium. Her steels and plastics are chattering. Her remaining useless arm snaps, and her engine wings creak. That pressure is not enough to bring her down, but it's enough for her to falter, and Queen Macula grabs her foot and slams her to the ground. Maricrisium creaks and strains, trying to flee, so Pluto pulls the rest of herself on top of her.
I'm serious.
You're not the only one. I have things I'm willing to be hard and cruel for now, too.
Maricrisium fires a sidearm. It doesn't dent Pluto. Pluto opens her hand. The fingers don't work, but the plasma still does, which flays Lunaterra's chassis, but gently.
I'm really serious this time. I can't stop for a second, so I really need it back. It's already been too long, so give me back that part of me.
Maricrisium opens her left hand. Pluto's missing reactor is still beating wildly.
Sorry to be like this, but this ship self and what it can do are more important than me, than anything else about me.
Nothing is more important than you.
A gentle click. Lunaterra's sidearm pointed at the stolen reactor fires. The solid light slug misses, just barely. There's a second shot, but it's buried in Pluto's blocking hand, and there's a third shot, but Pluto's ripped off the arm of Maricrisium, so it's just the last reflex of a limb separated from its owner. But that's all that the broken arm of Queen Macula can take. Its fingers make a last twitch before her arm finally snaps under its own weight, and the Queen Macula falls to what's left of its knees.
How long are you going to make me put up with this?
You mean? You don't want a fight with me. You don't. Not a fight for me. Your heart isn't in it. so let's not.
No. No, no, no. That's the only thing I want. Why are you like this? Acting like you know what I want better than I do. So what if you're right? Of course I don't want to fight you. Damn it, I hate you. After all that, I'm the one who's crying at the end again. Last time it was like this, I was the one crying too. I'm powerful like you. I have something I'm fighting for like you. It's not you or anyone but me. So let me fight for that. Stop protecting me. Stop making me fight for you. It's so easy to fight for you. If I'm not careful, it's all I'll ever want to do.
I'm sorry.
Don't want a sorry. You must think that it's so easy to not care about you, but it's not. It's easy for you to not care about you, but it's the hardest thing for me. I'm still the one who ended up crying, again. You wouldn't listen to me back then either.
Mary Christian rises, gently brushes away the burnt portions of Kryn Macula's armor. The joints are already starting to heal as gravity pulls them back. Almost just as good as new, but a little changed.
I know you.
Don't distract yourself, dummy. Reattaching arms is hard, so do mine right at least.
It was the same last time, too. I said you deserve better.
I said, but you are better.
I just ignored it because I'm stupid. Not because I'm cool.
Thank God. Everything is worth it. If you finally don't think you're cool anymore. Yeah, okay.
You ever have a really bad fight with your ex?
God, have I? That is a question for another time.
Strength and hydrate.
Yeah, and the psychological equivalent of whatever that is as well. I may not be able to stage cry, but I can sound like I do.
You only stage cry by real crying. That's my secret.
Fair enough.
If it ever sounds like if I am acting out a character and it sounds like I'm breaking down, it's because I am literally breaking down.
Yeah.
I
Thank you,
just
Blake.
embody. Yes. It was very convincing.
Good.
If you had told me that was emotionally getting to you,
Oh, it was, but also, like, lots of things emotionally get to me and don't come across in my behavior at all. Like, actually
Well, yeah,
expressing it is a whole other thing.
yeah. Mood.
Yeah.
Alright. Let me know when everyone else has kind of come back to themselves. And we can start again.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Final stretch.
yeah, Dr. Nix, the floor is yours.
Yep.
So when you're ready, sort of job.
September 12th, 1963. That's when the first and last artificial colony of the native sphere was completed. In a tranquil bowl of stable gravity at Lagrange Point 5. As the front line against existential threats, a training facility for a generation of humans adapted to fight in space. A colony environment with the life, gravity, and culture necessary for human beings to live, thrive, die, and be born. With the hope that peace on earth would reign if we won this war in heaven. Without pressure, water boils off our tongues and we dissolve into component parts. Without culture, we forget the shapes we're supposed to have and turn inside out into something else. Out of necessity, we created a pressurized environment, exerting enough gravitational pressure to maintain cohesion, all senses, in space. A ship self to ferry us through the world. They function only in places where the gravity of humans is too light to sustain existence. It was doomed from the start. Of course they were jealous of the humans the Earth no longer wanted, flying on zero-G wings. Dr. Nix, Executive Director, Memorial Foundation, Existential Expansion.
Sorry, I misclicked there.
Europa next.
Yeah.
July 29, 1958. That's when the Memorial Foundation International Executive Committee was granted international authority in the spirit of unified human peace and the verified presence of an existential threat outside of the solar system to establish a cultural, military, and scientific response to existential threats. No longer confined to Earth, a growing native sphere where our gravity reigns forever. Safety, research, and expansion. The three pillars of Memorial Foundation's space branch will protect Earth from without as it has from within. Free from the old world's gravity, it would be possible to advance science, art, and culture without constraint, and join hands, all of Earth finally unified. For Memorial Foundation, protecting humans from other humans through peace on Earth, and protecting humans from everything else through war in heaven, would fulfill both of our agendas simultaneously. We really, foolishly, decided we could do better. There are two errors to this approach. The first is that to do better in heaven is meaningless if it cannot be exported to Earth. The space program was never rejected by the surface. It simply did not have enough relevance to sustain interest. The second error is the intrinsic error of Memorial Foundation. The existential threat is intrinsic to humanity. You can fight it, but you cannot cut it out. The designation of alien is required by humans. You cannot trick an existential threat into a convenient manifestation. As it has always been, only humans can fulfill the criteria to be alien. Europa, Chief Officer, Memorial Foundation, blah 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 blah.
Sorry. Get the key again. January 2nd, 1980. That's when they blew up the Lagrange colony. It was a real shame. It was a green, wet, and very peaceful place. And now it's a very cold, green, wet, and very unsettling place. It's where we did a lot of legitimately incredible things, like create sustainable tidal reactors, new culture, experiment with human bodies and human development, manufacture self-sufficient alter egos for space exploration, and did everything other than successfully combat the unknowable existential threat. Earth and the Memorial Foundation surface considers that a failure, but in truth they're just not trying hard enough. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. Humans cannot make whatever they imagine come true. Through imagining, humans chart out what is true. They invent, with human effort, what exists. If an existential threat doesn't exist, we just have to make one. But of course, it doesn't work like that. Nothing could be more difficult than creating something alien. Our only reference points are human, so the idea of something alien is unimaginable, because we cannot imagine outside of those terms. There's a certain degree of misunderstanding needed for humans to successfully classify something as alien. But before they blew it up, we got very close. Iapetus, Executive Director, Memorial Foundation, Existential Research.
Day 5.
We've done everything we can for Ares, the planet that would be Mars. We won't return before too long. Wait for us while we fight to keep you safe forever.
Report received. Awaiting new directives.
At this time of year, we'll have to pass by the Lagrange colony on the way to the moon. It's a nostalgic place, isn't it? Let's not allow anyone to take it away from us. Let's protect the memories it holds from Memorial Foundation, and take it with us to the new world we will create, before Celestial Mechanics turns it into something ugly. Send a message to everyone. I'll take care of the past, so you can seize the future. Ready for launch? Halfway there.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh man, double nicks.
I'm gonna get a snack.
I'm sorry.
No.
It's okay.
No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
Even as enemies, you are as hard to understand as ever, Iapetus. Maybe one day I'll be wise enough to know why you're always laughing, always smiling. If that's what you've been making on Cronus' moon, we over here don't even look half bad. Can't imagine why you'd tell me the truth. Does it really not matter to you if you're found out? Are you that confident that you don't mind bragging while you dangle this offer in front of me? Macula's development is stalled, so we're desperate enough to accept your favor. Well, maybe you aren't as far ahead as you're letting on. What if I just told Europa what you're up to? Just as a courtesy, of course, since there's no way she doesn't know already. You know that the Macula still hasn't been completed. But you must be desperate too if you're reaching out to us. It just goes to show, Iapetus. Nothing will come of resisting Earth. I'm just doing this because I'm hopeless. What's your excuse? Thinking you can double-cross the universe? See if you can trick Europa first. Now the aversion impulse. We talk always of the beauty of gravity, but rarely of its cruelty. A force that binds and overwhelms humans. The power brings us together, but it does not do so with kindness. Culture is power and hierarchy and force. It can crush us and tear us to pieces. It is not a unilateral force. On the contrary, gravity's structures are deliberate and intricate. Not everyone shoulders a light burden. Not everyone is able to wield the natural powers of humans with so little weight. Through gravity, humanity is ruled by its own laws. But this is not the case. Through gravity, humans are ruled by each other. Antimatter, anti-gravity, anti-culture all exists as a resistive force to this gravity. The refusal of humanity to accept these parts of itself causes its own undoing. When we let our children develop in the lightness of space, they chose their bodies, genders, souls, hearts of their own volition. They became human in the ways they wished to be human. Gravitational forces are unendurable to those in space. We can feel the possibilities closing off. Infinity has to become something finite eventually. That's the curse of time. foremost of the 8 billion curses of the universe arrayed against humanity. The last before death. Conquering them in order is Memorial Foundation's legacy and belief. Every curse overcome, and nothing lost. You have to weigh the accumulation, or the end result is a diminished humanity. They're not good at making hard choices. It's hard when you understand what you have to lose so much better than you understand what you have to gain. And so when it comes down to it, that's why we lose. Every single time. Only in space can we possibly be free.
Oh.
Let's go to comms.
Pluto? You ever think we're being too cavalier about this whole war?
But it's not a war.
I think a whole bunch of people fighting each other is definitely a war. I don't care if the medium itself is rhetorically distinct from war. That's just a technicality. A bunch of people fighting is a war. It's a war. And war is bad.
You're sort of the last person I expected to say something about it, though.
Why?
Because you love it.
Work?
You still love it.
Well, it's exciting.
You really love excitement.
But it's scary, too.
Why? You can't die, only lose and try again. That's why it's not a war, just a noisy argument.
But I'm mad like it's a war. I hate the other side like it's a war. If it's only not a war because ship cells aren't designed with a way to kill each other, it's too fragile a reason. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I don't want to go back to Earth. I'm not going to let them make us. If I keep feeling this way, one day I might do something terrible for it. So I can't say I love it when it's more complicated than that.
You're right, it really is complicated. I was kind of hoping you'd have uncomplicated feelings about it, though.
Why?
Because I love it, and I don't feel complicated about it at all.
What? You're kidding. You always lecture us about how fighting is bad and letting negative feelings go and how we're going to have peace one day.
Of course I feel that way. But it's so thrilling. I was too precious to send out during the Cold War. They never let me fight like all of you. And I'm good at it, too. Better at it than what I came here to do, than a lot of the actual pilots. I'm proud of that. But it's also just thrilling.
It's dangerous. Maybe you can't die, but there's a lot that can happen to you that's painful. Hard.
How do you stay scared enough to still feel like that? I wonder if it's just because it feels so new, or if there's something really wrong with me. I guess that's why you didn't want me fighting, isn't it?
It's complicated. I don't want you to get hurt doing that.
You know, Mars, this is why you're so bad at love. You won't let people you love get complicated.
It's not that you're not incredible. And it isn't that you deserve to have fun. What if something terrible happens anyway?
Right. So this is my favorite scene in the game.
Becoming stars?
No, I'm not gonna.
Pluto, come on, listen.
Don't think I don't see you trying to protect me.
For your own good.
I utterly refuse.
Dr. Nix is worried. And for good reason.
Only I have... Excuse me. One moment. Only I have a strong enough gravity to pull the colony ruins out of the Lagrange point and pull it along with us to the moon. So I don't even know why we're having this conversation. The tidal forces would tear you apart and you'd just get in the way. And I want to have fun.
It would be hard enough on your own, but Celestial Mechanics wants it too. And not to rebuild it or use it to reseed Ares when we win. They'll finish what they started and turn it inside out into something horrible. And they'll send that annoying hijacker to do it. I'm not letting you do that alone.
You never let me do anything fun.
It's not fun. This is serious.
Then why are you always having so much fun, huh?
The case whatsoever. I'm doing what needs to be done.
Does doing what needs to be done refer to your mission assignments or that girl you keep?
The mission? I promise?
I want to do something that needs to be done. You're very strong and very brave, but it's not a time I can just sit around and be protected. We're too desperate now. We need hope, too.
Pluto. But I can't do everything.
Here goes. I love this music, too. What do you...
Yep, sorry. Saturn rushes in because Pluto is ready for this kind of fight.
This is not what I was expecting. Like, you're kidding, right?
Oh no, Pluto isn't joking. The farthest thing. The swirl of cosmic nebula dust completely obscures the colony in Pluto's warm embrace is no punchline. Only insofar as it is true that Pluto is so strong, it's funny. The colony no longer resembles Earth. Now it's a gas giant, or maybe a star waiting to be born. Whatever the case, even though it's certainly much too late to do anything about it, there's an invitation from inside. Just come try.
You must think I'm really dumb. Well, you must have a lot of faith in me, in which case you're really dumb.
It could be Saturn's perfect opportunity if she plays her cards right. Pluto's putting everything she has and more into just attempting to move the colony. If Saturn can find her, she'll be helpless.
And how am I supposed to do that with you filling up the whole universe? Your story is everywhere, pulling at everything. How am I supposed to compete with gravity so strong even the narrative of space-time is bending?
Oh, hi there. Oh, God. This is, I'm glad this is the last day we're doing. Oh, hi there, Saturn. Are you just passing through?
Hi.
Fancy meeting you here. How did you know it was me?
Where to find you in the middle of an inconceivable cosmic cloud only you could create?
I know. What a coincidence. I've sort of been ordered to fire on anyone in it, though. I think this might make things awkward if you try to get closer.
You could at least pretend to be a little afraid of me.
I am, just a little. But even if I should be, I'm glad to see you.
I hope that's not a lie. On either part.
No, it isn't. I know you're dangerous and very special. And you wouldn't be here if you couldn't stop me. Even if you're not quite ready for how hard that would be. I'm very impressed that you didn't decide to sneak up on me while I was thinking, though. It would have been a good chance.
Oh, are you maybe having second thoughts? I was hoping I could convince you to destroy this place with me.
You're impossible. It's adorable. You're incorrigible. I like it a lot, actually. I even envy it a little.
Oh. Thank you. I was just being difficult. Which is very charming of me. But I was half serious, too.
Nope, never. I was almost tempted, though. I don't know what your memories of this place are like. They're bad and good, right? Always a little worse than better. It's the same for me, but this place is still precious to me. It was a seed of life once, and maybe it can bloom again, so I'm going to protect it. Oh, that reminds me. What are you here for? Do you mind if I ask a personal question? What are you trying to do with it?
I'm going to not destroy it.
Oh, that's what I was worried about.
I really know when I'm beat, so I'll just be...
Hey, stop right there. Hey, Jet, thanks for coming by.
What? I was just trying to banter.
You tried to shoot me. That's dangerous.
I didn't.
You were thinking about it.
Of course.
Woody?
I'm here. I'm just laughing.
Okay.
Well, she was. More like Saturn was trying to get a bead on Pluto. The string of pearls tides ripple through Pluto's nebula cloud, hoping there's something it can find eventually. It's not like Pluto is hiding. She's just everywhere, and it's hard to tell where she ends or begins.
Aren't you thinking about shooting me, too? You're the one with the advantage on visibility. I'm just sitting here and I can't find you in that cloud.
Oh, you're totally right.
Dear super weapon of Cradle's Graces, are you actually a little naive?
I gave you the benefit of the doubt. Was that wrong?
Obviously.
Sorry, I've never learned to be on my guard. There's no need to be when I can tell what people are thinking, and nothing can touch me.
If it really actually worked like that, you'd absolutely never trust anyone ever.
No, I trust everyone. I can always trust people to do what they always do.
Do you think you can trust someone to surprise you? Can you
Austin
trust
Luna Terra.
Wow. Can you trust them to do something you wouldn't even think of?
It's when they surprise me that I'm the happiest of all. That's when I really feel we're not doomed, set in stone. Always making the same mistakes. I'm being stupid and following my heart, just like you. You're going to have to do better than shoot at me if you want to surprise me. there are other ways to fight.
You're better at that than me.
I think you can surprise me.
Is that what you want?
On Earth, our souls are weighed down by gravity. At the same time, gravity holds us together, tells us who we are, good things and bad. The Earth's gravity is strong because it's all of us together. Forces that would be insignificant on their own are powerful enough to make a planet when we hold it together. That's why we are much stronger on Earth. Even the weakest human has that sacred light of the soul and its many powers. To forbid direct contact with the soul, to wield the arts and sciences in shaping existence, to be many and also one. In space, our gravity is weak. Without the constant pressure of tidal reactors, our souls would dissolve. The way that water at high enough altitudes will evaporate off a pilot's tongue without atmospheric pressure to remind it to be water. Stories bleed into each other easily, and our shapes don't hold steady. The fragility of our ships couldn't survive a moment on Earth. In space, there are things we could never do on Earth. With our heaviness, we could never be so tender.
Okay, I get it. Let's pick up from earlier, but fight in the way only pilots can fight. In the way only us close to the edge of being human can fight. That isn't fighting at all. Do you feel the same way, Pluto? You are listening, right?
I was going to tell you I don't have time to play today, but it sounds like you know I still want to anyway. That's going to make it harder to convince you to leave me alone and let me do this. You are here to play, right?
No convincing me. I can pick up on the subtext. Blame it on the wicked celestial mechanics pilot who bothered you and didn't let you get any work done.
The thing is, it's fun. More fun than hacking. To bleed, corrode, seep into the mist. Saturn can feel every particle and the celestial physics that make them move. It's a swelling orchestration. Pluto is conducting something beautiful, something overwhelming. In the equations are hints and patterns to how Pluto thinks, to where she might be. It's simple to trace back. Easier than hacking, too. Space is boring. Space is empty. Space is broken. Space will never give us everything we want. Space is a hope that what we want to make real might already be out there. Just reach out in space and time, and we can almost touch it. Space is just a means to an end. But for a moment, Saturn is overwhelmed with how beautiful even the boring, dead, empty space can be. Even just the way that dust moves around. That's when Saturn realizes she's lost. She went in to tear open the story, twist it around, and instead, she got so lost and happy in it, she didn't notice the cloud swirling around her, the cosmic dust covering her, Pluto holding her tenderly. Pulled into the atmosphere of the colony, they orbit gently. Saturn has no reason to fight. It doesn't even feel like she lost. It feels like she won. Something special.
Okay, Saturn. Open your cockpit.
Why?
Because I trust you. Do you trust me?
I do. The same way you trust me. No, I trust you way dumber than you trust me. You're so amazing, and so much more amazing because you believe in something like being human. You pour your everything into something that won't pay off. That makes me mad, but then sometimes I think it might work.
Saturn's cockpit opens. Naked guts. Exposed circuits. Krun Macula's thumb presses against Saturn in the distended cockpit. Exploring.
Oh no. You're really hooked in good there. Why would you ever do such a thing to yourself? You don't have to answer. I understand. Your cheek feels human and soft. Oh wow. Suddenly I don't feel like moving the colony much. Maybe not destroyed any more than it was before will be good enough. Why am I doing this? I need to get back to my post. But you look so nice like this. I want to get closer. Is that okay? No, I guess I shouldn't. Oh. That's so... What a brazen move. Okay, okay. Maybe you really win this time.
Wow.
God, like, everything I love about Pluto and about being Pluto is in that scene. the incomparable cosmic cloud that only you could create. It's so good.
Stupid.
Stupid, but beautiful, and that matters.
Yes.
It's okay to be stupid if you're pretty. Anyway.
Are you saying Pluto's a herbo?
She has her moments.
She tries.
I wish I were a hobo. What's the
Wait
rhyme?
a second.
No, I just wish I was a herb and turn into a plant.
Okay, but what you said was, I wish I was a hobo.
I said herbo.
It sounded like hobo.
Did it? My apologies. That was
yeah.
not what I intended. My voice is a little bit rough. Anyway.
But it just made me think of, like, instead of, like, the actual, like, word hobo, which has its connotations, I was thinking of the word ho and himbo combined, and it was like hobo. And I was like, because of the way you emphasize the syllables, and I was just like, now that is a very fascinating syllogism.
My God.
That for a moment, even though it's unintentional.
What a way to end a stream. Oh my goodness. Anyway, thank you both so much for that. That was amazing. And we have one more stream, which will be next Saturday, unless anything goes wrong.
Yeah. And I have not announced it yet, but I may be streaming tomorrow. So we'll see. Finally, I will actually be streaming on my own channel for something besides Definitely Mine again.
Hooray!
Oh, it'll be nice to get through these hell weeks.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone.
And will my brain come back from the war?
God. Yeah.
Really
Thank you for
don't.
watching, everyone. And good night.
Good night.
Good night.